All right. So right now it's coming towards the end of the year. As I'm recording this, we have literally just less than 2 months to the end of the year. And a great question is about how do we make the most of the end of the year? Even though it's easy to kind of write off, oh, there's only a few weeks left before the holidays. This questioner is wise to say, I feel it can make such a difference to plant seeds already now that perhaps can even gain traction. Okay. So I love this question, and I agree in the importance of seasons. I'll say it this way. The beginning of the year is a uniquely powerful season. I mean, we all know that, but like in the culture, there's in the air, there's like extra motivation for you, right? So just everywhere you turn, you're just going to get the gift of, you might say, free motivation in January, particularly first week of January, but let's hopefully it goes all the way through the end of January and maybe even February. Free motivation everywhere you look. And so you might as well ride that. So right now, people are planning for the following year. But what I think people don't do is to understand that stamina is an important part of what happens if you're going to make a plan successful. Okay, so let me say it this way. Rhythm is the most important thing, especially when we're talking about business. The typical idea is great, I'm going to launch something big in January or February or the first quarter. Okay, I'm going to prepare for that to launch this big thing and it's going to be successful the rest of the year. Maybe it will be. I hope so for you. What I've noticed over 16 years of launching hundreds of things now, over 16 years, is that rhythm is the most important thing. Meaning, your launches may be successful, it might not be successful, but what's for sure is that you will learn from every launch. And if you're willing to take the perspective of saying, I for sure, well, I might as well get the definite benefit and leave the possible benefit to the universe to deliver to me when the timing is right, when my skills are right, when the alignment is right between what I'm offering and what the market wants. Let the universe give you that benefit. The benefit that you should be claiming is the definite benefit of the learning. I think most people don't. Sadly, they try to claim the outcome benefit of, well, this many sales, this many clients, and by holding being attached to that outcome benefit, they don't claim the definite benefit of the learning. So I'm always looking for the definite benefit for sure. I'm like, well, I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know how many people are to sign up, but I'm definitely going to focus on the learning that I can have. So therefore, that's why the rhythm is the most important, because rhythm takes into account the fact that you're going to be receiving a definite benefit with every launch and with every piece of content you put out there, or maybe analyze every piece, but you certainly analyze maybe once a month or once every 2 weeks or something like that. So so let's take away focus from the one-off projects are going to make my business, and instead let's focus on, well, if rhythm is the most important, what is my rhythm for 2026? Okay. And essentially, I always see that, well, let's talk about a couple of things you could plan for rhythm in 26. Launches. Now, okay, launches, by launches I mean concerted effort of announcing an offer to your audience. For me, launches are quite simple. It's 2 emails to my email list, and those same 2 emails are copy pasted to every social media that I have. And then I'll see what happens. The first message is the early bird. You can get a discount if you sign up by this particular date. That's the first message. Of course, I talk about what the offer is and who it's for. And the second message for me, because I'm launching a course, usually it's like, oh, it starts next week, but it's essentially it's just final reminder that this thing's available for whom it's the best fit, etc. So that's my first question for those of you watching this right now. What is your launch rhythm for 2026? Again, launch sounds like a rocket, and I'll just talk about this briefly. We are not launching a single rocket and then that's going to save us for the rest of our lives, right? It's more like we're starting a rocket company. It's more like we're starting a rocket company. And if you have, I don't know how you feel about Elon Musk, but obviously the first person comes to mind, rocket company, Elon Musk. And the people who hate Elon Musk, all they do all day is to point out the crashes of his rockets, right? Ah, look, Elon is so lame. Another rocket crash. That's all that they talk about, right? And the people who love Elon Musk, they just show videos of the rocket landing perfectly, right? Like, what's true? Both are true, right? Tons of his rockets crash, and also enough of the rockets land perfectly that the fans celebrate it and his company moves forward and he gets more investors and he gets more rocket launches behind it. He gets more rocket launches to be able to do. You see what's got going on here. So your detractors are going to, which usually there's no physical, there's no humans who are like, hopefully not in your life, but it's usually the inner detractors. The inner detractors, right? You're the, just like the people who hate Elon, the people who hate you in your mind, your inner critics are going to point out, hey, look, that launch failed again. Hey, look, this is not getting traction. Hey, look, right? But you have to get you get to focus to say, am I going to focus on the detractors or am I going to focus on the rhythm? Because it's also true that if you launch enough rockets, you're eventually going to have one that, sorry, flies perfectly or gets to the right place or lands. I don't know what the metric is for a rocket. But for you, though, the metric is, did I learn something? What did I learn that I can then apply to my next launch? And again, I always talk about gentle launches. I'm not a rocket company. I'm literally just sending 2 emails, 2 messages to my audience. That's it. And then say, oh, I didn't get enough signups this time. That's okay. Let me pivot. And I sometimes pivot after the first message, after 48 hours, 72 hours after the first message. I'm tracking my launches. Of course, I always do that. I talk about that in my outreach course, but in several courses, I talk about tracking launches. Anyway, what is your rhythm of gentle launches or announcements to your audience? I highly recommend that you have at least one gentle launch per month. At least one gentle, at least, I mean, one is very nice. Maybe I'll say one a month is pretty average. Those who want to get more at bats, those who want to get more experiments so that they can understand their alignment between what they have and what the market wants, should do more than one per month. You should be making an offer twice a month. It's fine. People who don't want it will scroll past it. It's no harm done. No harm done. They'll scroll past it. They'll only stop if it's interesting to them. Don't worry about it, right? So, what is your rhythm of content? Okay, that's the second question. Because content is how you really explore yourself and your alignment with your audience and to figure out, well, what does my audience actually want? And what your audience wants, you can then formulate further into an offer, or that helps you frame what your next launch is going to be. But content is more experiments. It's more frequency of experimentation and rhythm than offers can be. Offers probably twice a month is the maximum, but content can be 4 times, 5 times a week. Some people do that, right? I mean, if you look at my content over multiple platforms, I think it's something like 12 pieces of content if you look per week, if you look at it over the various platforms. But each platform probably gets, I try to aim for each platform to get 3 times a week, something like that. So, you mean, if you follow me on Substack, you'll see something like 3 pieces from me per week. If you follow me on Instagram, you'll see 3 things from me per week. That's my aim. I don't always get there, but the minimum is 2 per week from me. So that's my rhythm. But what's yours? That's the question. Third rhythm is, what is your rhythm of net caring? Because, and I'm going to be focusing even more on that in the coming year. I have recently started talking more about tiny audience, great business. And so I myself, and I hope that you do this as well, look at, okay, if I could just gather my 20 best colleagues, now that you might not even be able to write down 3 right now, that's okay. You're going to work your way to 20. But 20 is not too many, right? Like you can keep 20 people on a list and know each of them really, really well, right? So that's what I encourage you to aim for. Maybe you'll go beyond 20, but I think 20 is really nice because they often rotate in and out. Some people you lose touch with. Maybe your values, you realize your values aren't super aligned, or your goals aren't super aligned, your audience isn't aligned, whatever. Maybe you keep in touch with them a lot less, and then you meet someone new, you keep in touch with them more. That's part of your 20. So 20 colleagues, 20 clients. That's my aim anyway. I have more than 20 clients, but I'm like always now going forward, I'm like 20 best clients, people that I'm most aligned with, that get the most benefit from what I do. 20 colleagues, the ones that I most enjoy net caring with and doing collaborations with. That's my aim. So the rhythm of net caring is read my blog post on the collaboration spiral, the 5 levels of net caring. Each level has its own rhythm. So level 1 might be like several times a week. Level 2 might be several times a month. Level 3 might be, once every 2 or 3 months, et cetera, et cetera. So that's my next question for you. What's your rhythm of net caring? Okay, I'm gonna stop. Well, okay, I'll quickly mention what's your rhythm of market discovery. Market discovery is talking to your audience to find out what they are buying or what they're interested in buying so that you can shape your offers more intelligently, right? What's your I'll just give those 4: launches, content, net caring, and market discovery. Like if you have consistent rhythm of those in the coming year, I mean, you're giving yourself the best chance at getting the potential benefit of lots of clients, lots of traction, etc. But you'll definitely get the benefit of learning a lot about where your alignment is between what you can offer, what you love to offer, and what the world wants from you at this time. So it's really so what do I talk about all this in relation to the end of the year versus start of the year? Because, well, you're planning at the end of the year for the coming year, and I hope that you plan your rhythm. You plan that literally into your calendar, whatever reminder system you need for these rhythms, and to actually put calendar slots like a recurring 1 hour for this, recurring 1 hour for that every week or twice a week or every 2 weeks or whatever. Have that in your calendar so that you are able to say, well, that therefore I can have this many clients, or I can do other activities or whatever. But it's like having those things in your calendar, which I do for myself, allows me to practice the rhythm, right? And so what should you do now? I recommend that you start, well, plan the rhythm for the coming year, but you might as well start gently practicing that rhythm now in the next few weeks. You don't have to do it perfectly. And here's the thing I'll end with. Stamina is required to do things like sustainably, meaning you now plan a rhythm, you're really excited by it, but then you realize that you start doing it, that it takes stamina, and you need to build up that stamina. So for the next few weeks that you try gently, lightly, the new rhythm, you're going to probably, oh, I don't feel like showing up today. Like you're going to fail. You're going to so-called fail. You're going to postpone. You're going to procrastinate. You're going to be human. Okay. And then you'll learn from that to say, okay, maybe I shouldn't be doing my net caring on at this time of the day because I'm really tired. Okay, I've learned something. Maybe I should shift my net caring to the morning or to the evening or whenever you have more energy. So you're gonna have to learn to match your stamina with your desired rhythm. And that would be, I think, the most productive thing you can do in the last few weeks of the year.